The Declaration of Independence was signed in 1847. The nation of people we are known as First Republic, the love star shining evermore. Liberia is flying on the side. Show your allegiance, show your loyalty to this nation. Liberia, young people who are over money, they humble themselves and seek my face. And heal their nation. We'll rise again.
All nations will come to your rise in Liberia. Together, let's keep the peace. Liberia is all that we have as a people. Let us treat Liberia with respect. Arise and take your place, Liberia. Whatever the locals have eaten, arise and take your place. The flag of Liberia is crying. It's crying blood. These are some of the issues we are following this afternoon. The nation's Heavenly J. My name is Jala Emmanuel Griffey III. And the nation's Heavenly J. Remember Jala Griffey chapter 1 verse 1. Let's talk and talk and talk, and now shall we fight? Voice of Liberia is heard in Grand Bassa County on frequency 95.7, 90.7 in Bone County, 89.7 in McGibby, 96.7 in Virgin Malofa County and beyond.
I pledge allegiance.
What are the issues trending this afternoon? The debate is on as to whether it was wrong for President Joseph Newman Boakai to inspect the guys of honor on Armed Forces Day while he was parading in a pickup truck. Others say it was wrong, and the debate is it was also right. Why all the debate about? Others are saying it was because of age factor. I saw a very long post from Mora Malu, former CDC chairman and now head of STAND, a political is a political pressure group, right? Attributing that of age factor. But is it the first thing has happened? Let's join the debate. President Joseph Newman Boakai gets stuff again. Suspends 400 and some more members of his government for their failure to declare their assets. The old man said, wasted time, man. 1 year ago. That should have been done 1 year ago. Arise and take your place. What led to the breakage? Some may say burglary into the offices of the speaker in Battle Speaker, Efradi Kofa. Too much noise. Too much noise in the land. Who's in charge of the country? Is Joseph Jimon Pwaga in charge? On his watch, lots of things are happening very wrong. A great setback for Liberia. As the Trump government cancels a 17 million project to provide tax policy advice to Liberia. Elon Musk say it's a waste of U.S. taxpayers' money. Donald Trump is getting tougher and tougher by the day. A whooping $70 million to provide tax policy by our country has been cancelled. Trump's strongest man, Elon Musk, said it is a waste of resources of that American poor taxpayers' money. What happened? Why the lawmakers honor George Manawia at the time did not succeed in removing Honorable Dr. Buffer Chambers? Is it because the president of Liberia was sensitive that it will cause problems and delay the governance process of our country? Why now? These are the issues. The EPS director is the director, rather, Johnson, will be highlighted. There's something going on very fishy. Socially, he has been caught in a social web, trying to destroy somebody whom allegedly we shall spin on him and other files are available. What is happening at the National Archives and documentation? We're hearing reports of corruption in that area again. We'll detail those corruption things tomorrow or on Monday. But I'll read you some, I will bring you a gist of what happened in there. We've been trying to get to the PRO manager since yesterday, but this morning he responded. I sent information, he said he will respond. If he responds in time, then it will be part of our discussion. The last part of our discussion, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt to see what he has to say. Sekebi Nuri has agreed to give me the update. Certain feature, very big corruption web has been opened. The Center for National Records and Documents. Let me say welcome to guys who joined us on our live Facebook feed. Here with my young brother George Wei, who is under the tutelage of Jala Grayfield. David Ben Jr. You have to give me the cash giveaway so I can answer this way later when you are busy. David Ben Jr. said, good afternoon, Voice of Liberia family. I join you from Red Hill Fee Community. Jimmy Jingo Jacko. Monroe Township in New Jersey, where he watches us from. Jimmy Jingo Jacko. I love the guy's name, man. Jimmy Jingo Jacko. Solo Wat Kosia. Good afternoon, watching you from my comfort zone, Gardnersville, New Georgia Estate. Maurice Newman Jr. Good afternoon to Voice of Liberia family. I'm following you from New Georgia Junction JPM Freeway. While Fadu Sherry has joined us. She said, thanks for the good work you do for our country. And Fadu does not tell her where she's watching us from. Van Soiree, I'm watching from my Amagashi community in Jacobtown. Oh yes, welcome to the show. Welcome to it. Welcome to it. Welcome to it. Let me recognize the other guys who join us.
With originalhits.com.
AB Jabate says, good afternoon, Voice of Liberia. I'm watching from Western Cluster office. Saturday, Zongwe Woodware. Watching for Atlanta, Georgia, the USA. Good afternoon to you, my guys. Good afternoon to you, Saturday. Saturday, Zongwe Wuluwude. Wudu Wule. Where's the man Daniel Nyawule? Daniel Nyawule, where are you? Samuel Samson Senior. Hey, Jala, I'm currently watching from my office on 16th Street Sinker. Keep up the good job, brother, he says. Tuete. Good morning from Minnesota, the USA. Thanks for the good job you do. Thanks for following us here at Duete. Duete, welcome as well. While I'm doing that, George will find that release from the executive mansion that President Joseph Newman Boakai has suspended several government officials for being defiant to his authority. I think it's the second time the president issued this directive to his government officials to declare their asset. So many of them have been so defiant and say, "Oh, let me go sleep, man. Let me appoint the when you get nothing account, we'll go declare asset." But that's a policy. When I was appointing government, I declare asset. When I was exiting, I also declare asset. You know, it came a time where the media, social media, and the radio stations were discussing me everywhere. Jala Griffith on LBS, the man who criticizes people, sometimes we do it for the good of the people in the country. The man has not declared asset. But I was in the making. We declare asset. The records are there. Go to the LCC. I did an exit asset. Go there and ask. Moses Cole is there, a media practitioner, now the executive director at the LACC. He knows we declare assets. So it's mandatory. Before you enter government, you have to declare your asset. When you leave it, you declare asset. If you are reappointed while in one service, one office, maybe I'm here as a deputy minister for postal affairs. After a year or so, if the president appoints me somewhere else, if I'm going, I should also declare. Because at that time, I've accrued some money from the previous position, or I may have gotten vehicles or houses whatsoever. You need to re-declare. That is what the law says. But George, do you have it there?
Yeah.
Please read that. Let's hear.
I have the release.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I have the release. It says for immediate release, President Boakai suspends government officials for non-compliance with assets declaration, February 12, 2025. The executive mansion writes, President Joseph Boakai Sr. has immediately suspended all government officials who failed to declare their assets within the required time frame. This action is in accordance with Article 2, Section 10.2 of the Act to amend Section 5.2 and Section 10.2 of the 2014 Code of Conduct and follows the President's directive issued on November 27, 2024, granting a 10-day grace period for compliance. The Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, LACC, has provided a list of non-compliant officials, and those listed are now suspended for a period of 1 month without pay or until they submit the required declarations. As part of this directive, all suspended officials must immediately turn over government assets to compliant heads of agency, their designates or authorized personnel within their respective institutions. The President remains steadfast in the commitment to good governance, integrity, and the rule of law. Public officials are reminded that assets declaration is not only a legal obligation, but also a fundamental measure to promote transparency and restore public trust in government institutions. President Boakai reiterates the failure to comply with assets declaration requirements undermines national efforts to combat corruption and ensure accountability. Moving forward, he warns strict enforcement of legal and ethical standards will continue to be a priority of his administration. Please read the daily newspaper for detail. Okay,
so the names are not too clear. The print is very small.
Yeah, very
I can't read them, but there are several of them. I'm told 450 or so of them have been suspended. I think that the time duration is not there, right? The duration for the suspension is not there.
It's not
so
there.
It means it's time indefinite.
Time indefinite.
If they declare their access in time indefinite can be 2 days. It can be 4 days. When they say suspended for 3 months, it is specified. And so, there's a wild big mouth man in this country called Eugene Fagon. That man still lives in his father's house. Oh, yes. So this man's father had a place on a boulevard. just before you go to the swamp area. The first speed breaker, the second speed breaker on the boulevard where the guy to the special. There Fagon lives. That man has no one house in his town. When he was appointed by President George at the time as deputy minister, he went to that house, showcasing the place, put it on Facebook, SYZ. You know he left Facebook business. So at the top of the house, there are some Nigerians renting from the place. So they live on top of him and he's down. So the other day I saw him laugh. You don't even have a kitchen in this place. That is the reason why he has even declared asset. Well, why you put there? He don't get money, he didn't get asset, nothing he get. So he lives right there, he get one kitchen shop there, they put him go sit and they drink liquor. He said when he come from doing him, really talking, he can't say he get charged good. And start causing people. So these are some of the irresponsible officials in the government. Before I got in government, I declared my asset. When I leave, I declare asset. So the government knows what I got. What I use. Well, I got 2 horses here, I put it there. I get 2 horses, I get land, I get car, I get it one, I put it there. The records are there, public record. Go to LC and see it. Unlike a Fagon who just speaks here loosely, he's suspended. And one thing I know about Joseph Boakai's suspension is that when he suspends you, you can't come back easily. But some will have consideration because the number is so huge. So I don't think Boakai would suspend them and he just dismiss them. Some will survive the suspension and some will not survive. But I think in the broader sense, the president is right to have done what he did. And I must commend the president for that. But I think this is a bit late. Because the guys have enjoyed money for 1 year. 1 year, 2 months. They have not declared their assets. Some of these officials make 4,500. At the LTA, the guys make $15,000. And Fagon, who says there, makes around $5,000. So take 5,000 times 12. Or 5,000 times 14 months. Right? You know that he has accrued some money. But yet he doesn't have that money he got is because he works in government. He's a broke fellow. A very loose talker. They make a diarrhea in his mouth. You know what diarrhea? You know diarrhea? They want to make you go to the toilet very fast. That man mouth wrong. So he get nothing for himself. He wants to come to society and put more on good people. But again, thank you to President Joseph Boakai for the stance taken. And I hope he be very robust. And I saw the robustness in this old man the other day when he suspended Swakwood Dennis for corruption allegation against her. And you know how she disgraced herself? The same cars they say you bought and you corrupted the money to buy. When you wrote the same card to go to the LCC after the president suspended you and said, turn over all the government assets. She was so foolish and wrote the same cars and went there with bodyguards behind her. And she was disgraced in sinker. They took the car from her and poured down. She was about to go that day. A 39-year-old lady, very small girl. You were fortunate to be a lawmaker. You performed so desperately in your community, in your district, you didn't do anything, and they defeated you. You were privileged to get a job at that age 39 as CEO and president of an oil company that produces no oil. There's a liability to the government of Liberia. The small money that there, you go and start stealing the money from there. On Madam Sirleaf, how you call it? The national oil company was more vibrant. But even though there was corruption there, they were doing oil exploration here. We had the Chevron, we have all the other companies coming here doing exploration. And by that time, they were paying some money to Ellen government for those explorations. Unlike now, we are in President Joseph Boakai, there were no exploration, so people were just getting money, they're living on money, and money they get from government. They're not contributing to the government budget. They are the receiving end, and the small money that comes to the government from your government to you steal it again, put in your pockets and carry to your house. How wicked these people are. How wicked are they? I will read your comments. Just keep them there, Mr. Brabi and by the others. I'll read the comments for you. And so that's how the content looks like. Now, as we speak, I just read in my intro about what is happening now. The American government Elon Musk, who is the world's richest man, and he's number 2 now, with a worth of over $222 billion. He sits in the government of Trump, John Trump, eh? Yeah, Trump. John
Trump.
Yeah, Donald J. Trump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he sits there as one of the bigger guys. So the guys are reporting that they cannot give money to Liberia again. $17 million to Liberia is not small money. 17 million rather, was poised to come to Liberia in support of a very important project. Is to provide tax policy advice. Tax policy advice. I don't know what it means. So it's a tax policy advice. But again, this money comes. We hear the name, but when it comes, it lands in the wrong hands, and the guys putting corruption business inside. It happened on a matter surely. Our international partners give us money to build a new hydro. The hydro was not built. The Minister of Lands, Mines, and Energy then, and the people in the energy sector convinced Ellen that they will renovate the existing dam in Liberia, which has a small capacity, so they can give them back money. So the suffering of the Liberian people when it comes to electricity is because of Ellen government. They not listen to the international partners. The money landing in the accounts of the government, they use the money on orthodoxly. So they want to renovate that same dam that is there, the hydro. So if they were built a bigger one, by this time our summer finished. So it's the same way. So America sees that, and these are some of the information going to America. The ambassador here is informing the American government because he's out of the American government here. They listen to these talk shows, they read the newspaper every day, they see what is happening. Imagine a government official getting $15,000 in this economy, where some people can get in $5 of food for the day for the children to eat. The other day I was just home. Somebody sent me a text in my inbox. Mr. Gravy, I know you, but I want that with him. Please send me $800 to buy food for my daughter and myself. I was broken. $800, begging for $800 to buy food. Said, we did it yesterday. I'm messenger. I can screenshot and send it to you. Or you see after the show, I will show it to you. $800. But somebody here making $15,000. If you are making this on a huge salary, then America will send that money to you, yeah? I beg ya. If you're making something considerable like $2,000 or $1,500, minimum $2,500, it's moderate. If someone can live on the minimum of $150, some $100. I listened to one old man from this is everybody. I'm getting some feedback. Huh? Yeah. So I listened to this old man. He called on the Spoon Talk and said he comes to the National Traditional Council of Liberia. His salary is $105. But for the last 11 months, he did not receive salary. He put the blame squarely under the feet of Nimaling, Francis Sakla Nimaling, who is using $195,000 to renovate his office and expand it. You imagine that? An office that was furnished before you got there. You have all the beautiful things there, but you say you want to renovate it. And shockingly, the Justice Minister authorized the payment of that money. I think the Finance Minister also concurred with it. $195,000 to just renovate the office and replace some furniture there that was there before, and they still new. I was at LBS as deputy. When I got there, the 2 years I spent there, they procured for me furniture from one of these places. And somebody said they want to furnish my office, somebody George's office, furnish Mr. Tipen in your office, and that was around $8,000. And after 2 years I was living, those materials are still there, very new and clean. And I was also shocked that when Fagon got there as head of the institution, he took $10,000 to renovate offices in his office. Imagine the Director General office, Estelle Liberté, the office was clean, very neat, everything there. But the guy took $10,000 to renovate the office. He was going to China with the president of Liberia. He took additional $10,000. I said, going to buy equipment to China. He went and bought nothing. Now we're talking about corruption here. Somebody making 5,000-6,000. The government announced that no head of agency or deputy will make over 7,000, right? But in my mind, George, that money is so very big. Reduce a small more. So American people say the $17 million going to get to Joseph Baga government. They're not giving it again. They tired spending that money. When they send the money, people can eat it. They can use it for the purpose intended. So Elon Musk, one of the biggest men in America, who supported Trump and was giving $1 million to each person who, when you go register, when you log in, you get $1 million. The man worth $222 billion. That make about the whole Liberia. They sat in that corner and said, no, we cannot give $17 million to Liberia. Why? To provide tax policy advice? What is it? To go advise her to pay your own taxes? We can't do it. They call the money back. This is happening at the time the same U.S. government has said in 3 months we will not receive any subsidy from the government of America on the usual funding. It has also crippled 14% of our budget performance because they want to give it to us, 14% of that will go towards our budget. But Elon Musk and Trump and other people said, no, we cannot do this. We can't give them money. We can't give them money. These are American taxpayers' money. We put it in Africa, they looted money and they put it in their pockets. They made our accounts very fat. While the poor of the poorest still live in poverty. 17 million has been taken away from us again. In addition to 3-month freeze of usage project. It's because of the corruption in this country. Until Mr. President gets in charge of this country and put his legs so well down on the ground and punish corrupt people, the Americans will not give us support. The people cannot be giving all that money in lump sum. People that pay taxes in America, they take that money and send to Liberia, then you take it and put it in your pocket. Trump said no. The old man say it finished. Better man say akbe. Akbe. They are not sending money to Liberia in 3 months. And if in 3 months, if the government cannot improve on these things, they will hold it to Liberia for another 3 months. Or they may cancel it. But these are things that Ambassador Bwaka should know now and start taking charge of it. Wake up, my old man, wake up. The move you're taking now, they are good moves. Go further. The last time I checked, you dismissed Mr. Padre Woozy, a very corrupt man, at a air trip house and his colleagues there. They got dismissed because of they stole money that belonged to in Ghana. You went and build shanty houses for them. They live in utter poverty. They live in the ghettos. You took that money to resettle them, you put it in your pocket. Swakugo Dennis is another example. He's suspended by the president. She might not go by because Mr. Michael Lai has been, Fabian Michael Lai has been appointed. These are giant steps, Mr. President. These steps, when you take them every time, if one government official does wrong, punish them. You complain while you're in opposition to a person who was leaning on his people. You're not dismissing people, you're not suspending people, you're leaning with them. But when you come, you turn your situation around. But you have come, the citizen still remains. Nothing is changing. Nothing is changing. Let me hear your thoughts. Then we can read some of the comments and come to the other talking point.
Yeah, Jala, thank you. Thank you so much. I want to commend the president for his action to have suspended the 457, little over 457 government officials for non-compliance. And I think the president did extremely well. And that's why we always say on this platform that when the government do the right thing, we'll say it. When the government, do the wrongs, we'll also say that here. So we want to appreciate the president for his decision to have suspended the little over 400 government officials that refused to declare their assets. For what reasons?
They defied the president's authority.
Yeah, for what reasons? Best known to themselves. But on the overall, Jala, these people defied the authority of the president because they wanted to just remain into government and continue to steal without, without them being on record. They want to keep doing all set of deals. They want to get themselves involved with all set of deals because they don't want, to be on record. And this is wrong. And we hope that this will not just be another story where the president will go or the government will publish that thing for the American government how to leave from them or to leave on Liberia. These people should be suspended. Once you suspended them already, they should not take pay. Let the people go and sit for 1 or 2 years. And when they come from there, they will understand themselves.
But there are many people still on the bench. You should be lucky that the president appointed you amongst 5.4 million people in this country. You know that if you are appointed by the president, it's a privilege for you to serve. Then you go there with thievery.
They see it as an opportunity to
There are others who supported this regime who are still on the bench. They don't have no job. Some of you who are in government were just appointed based on recommendation by your friends. Many of you came from the States. You came to hustle here now. Because when you get money, you don't pay more taxes on it. When you go to America to push your hour, you pay more taxes. So they appoint you, come as a privilege. You have to serve and live to the details of the president. So you come, you know how many person here want to get a job? Government can employ everybody. Even though the government is a biggest employer. They are unity partisans under my voice right now. They want to get a job. They wouldn't want some $300 that they put in their pocket every month. They don't have it. You're privileged to get that kind of money, and you play for here. George conclude, man.
And so the government will have to continue what they've started. There are a lot of others into government, though they declare their assets, but they're still involved with corruption, heavily involved with corruption. And they feel that because the president suspended some of their colleagues, they feel relaxed. The president will have to take charge of the country, and the president will have to continue to take action against people that are involved with corruption. The government only suspend or only carry out suspension. In fact, when you suspend people, especially the ones that are involved with corruption, you let them go scot-free. When people steal, they suspend the people and let the people to go without investigation or without action taken against people that are involved with corruption.
Okay, George. Let's move on. Let me read some of the comments. I see people coming and responding. Couple passed away. Say I'm yelling. I mean, you government official now making $4,000. They ain't big one big pickup. You not pay your dues to those who dues belong. I'm not saying your family boy in Soklin. They say I'm gonna tell you that they're missing you. Yeah, man. I know my man used to meet someone in Soklin.
Oh, okay.
The man, I'm glad I ain't go there again. Cause man, I government official. The boy want to take that pickup, pass it around. Pastor, I'm yelling, thank you. Marie Johnson, I'm not actually praising Trump. I'm saying that what is happening, maybe that will come and he said, please don't sit on your platform and praise Donald Trump and Elon Musk because they are the most corrupt people in the world. America is run by immigrants and we pay taxes too. These two men want everything for themselves. They have no empathy for people beneath them. They are greedy and evil. So let us not give them any praises. I'm not praising them. I'm saying the $1,000 you pay you as in America, the money you pay to the American people is the money they send to Africa. And when these monies come to Africa, when it lands in the coffers of government officials in the government coffers, there are people feast on it at the disadvantage of the people. So I'm further warning the government, if you stay doing that, if these reports of corruption keep filtering in our political space, and the American people start hearing it every other time, they may slow down aid to Africa. That's what I'm saying, Marie. But again, let me just zero in on this one and we'll go to... So the argument has been up about President Boakai going to inspect the guys at the Armed Forces Day program yesterday. He had to ride a pickup. And I think that argument doesn't really hold politically. I was seeing a video around, someone sent, that President Samakhan, though being a military leader of this country, went and did similar thing. I think at the time it was because of the regime he formed himself. It's a military government. He has announced, he has claimed over and over that they wanted to kill him. There was an issue about Franz Hamilton, who said they used a 50 caliber jeep. They used a 50 caliber gun to fire the jeep. There's a Pajero jeep called 50 caliber. They used a 50 caliber because they said they used that Pajero, that car. They shot it with the RPG. It didn't blast. So Samado was also talking about every day about coup. He announced coup more than 3 times. So he was afraid maybe to go and inspect the guys around because he feared that someone would shoot him. But you're protected. I've seen the former Libyan president, Gaddafi. And people may say because of the space of the army, the space, and then the number of people, like North Korea, South Korea, have a huge army they get. I saw something on Facebook, not Facebook, but on CNN News the other day. No, Al Jazeera News. There are people are training young people at the age of 12 to 15 in military science. Teaching them how to shoot guns because they need more army. So North Korea, South Korea, they get the biggest army. So if you didn't expect Kim Jong-un to go to inspect that guy kind of number of people, then he'd be walking. The man already fired and shot. He was out briefing a hall. So the man uses car to go around. Someone will say that, but BDC is not a big place. Why didn't the president just go around and inspect a guy like Ellen did, like we did, that Chancellor did, that he has a raw car? Many people put this an age factor. That could be a good reason. At his age, if you had to walk from the gate of where the program was to go around, maybe it will have effect on his age, on his health. So he was advised by doctors and other people, political advisors, say, don't go there, don't do that. We can put you in car, go and inspect the people. So I've seen lots of officials, I've seen lots of pictures on Facebook, I did some Google about presidents around the world. Many of them do it. Many of them do it. I think America also does. I've not seen that, but I saw many African leaders doing it. I Googled many of them, so I don't think President Joseph Boakai was wrong to have ridden a car to inspect a guy of honor. Anyway, this is Liberia. Let's read in the comments. I'll come back. I'll go to Center, not Center, but the Center of National Records and Document. There's an issue of corruption there that is very vivid. We'll talk about it, and if all goes well, I will talk to the PR manager there. Let me go this way. Sorry. Because of time, I will not read all the comments. I will just recognize you. Some of you who have shorter comments. Welcome, Mr. Peter Konde. Peter Wande said, good afternoon, sir, brother Jala. I'm watching from Mamba Point. Propose Sharif. Good afternoon, Jala. Watching from Mamadi Diakere Intellectual Center. Asatu M. Miller. Good afternoon. I'm watching from Red Light Market. Muyan Sharif, welcome. Watching from District number 9. Sonny Fromo. Good afternoon, Basel, Liberia. Watching us from Bon County. PBS script community. And those names are posted for not complying with LCD rules. Are true? Yeah, it is true. We just talk about it. George Theo J. Brown from Post Office on the UK campus. Welcome. Robbie Emba, good afternoon. Jala Grave, I'm following the live broadcast. If the president is serious to fight corruption, He will fight to go for the MOS and LTA heads. So blanket Vla suspension isn't holistic. Matthew Nole. Good afternoon, Jala. I'm watching from Bapol County. Thanks for the program. Clara Kuja Mala. Hello, longest time following. Thank you, Clara. You are indisposed. Marie Johnson, Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald J. Trump, yes. I wanted to put the man John first, so I made it. I said John Joseph. Oh, don't for Duraba. Emmanuel Morba watching from Santa Cruz, Nima County. John Kessler watching from Twist Sinker. Roberto Riches watching from Louisville, Kentucky. Welcome, Roberto Riches. Dolly Gibson. Talk to the Chinese, my brother. CDC sources publicator for life in the office of Marvin J. Cole. Say good afternoon. Jay, that's Atai Isaac. Following you from India. Boaka Piantamendo. Good afternoon to you, Boaka Piantamendo. John David Nakulaya Paulo. Watching from where? This is two in Bon County. Matthew N. Dollar watching from Bapol County. Murphy Henry watching, Ambassador Tatus V. Solomon Jr. watching, Elijah Colley watching, Copper Passaway watching, Emmanuel Lamy Cornell watching, Marie Johnson Araya comment, Nina Kuya welcome watching, Asata M. Miller welcome, Tubasi Uloti Christopher Tubati welcome, Matilda Stevens good day Jala I'm watching, G. Jefferson M. Cole watching, Frank Tommy watching, Tubasi Uloti Tubasi watching. American president don't display the president's public viewing of troops. Okay. All right. Francis Flomo, welcome. So let me wrap on this one quickly. There's a disturbing information coming from the National Archives Center. We call it National Archives Center. Let me go to my document here. And these are one of the areas that we want the president to take action, if need be. We say these things to inform the government about what happened in these areas so that the government can be informed and take the necessary step to stop it or make sure people account for their stewardship. So the Center for National Document Records, honor its director, usually when the people go there to pay for marriage certificate, they pay $180 or the equivalent like $10. When you go there for registration of legal documents, you pay $40. You pay additional $25 for research. Maybe you want to get a land deed, you want to go and get your marriage certificate at loss, you go there, you pay $25. And so all of the money they get from that place, the $180 they get every day, all the money they collect from that place should be going to government account, in a consolidated account, and be used by the government. Already the Archive Center is not providing money for the government. It should be providing money for the government. What the government is paying them because they are capturing the budget. They are not like MPA, they are not like how you call it, LPRC that pays off. So all the money they are collecting, they should put all in a government account, in a consolidated account. But what they do is that the controller and the head of the entity have started taking some of the money. All the $180 they get for marriage certificate, they only deposit $70 in the government account. They have opened a parallel account at GT Bank where they deposit the other money. All of that money they get from that place, the controller is instructed by the Director General to issue check to themselves and issue check according to what he wants to do. Which should not be. The Lazarus Church, when Emmanuel Lomax was the head of that institution, every money collected from the archive went straight to the government considered account. You came and met a system there that was in place, but you chose now to do the wrong thing. I'm told that Central has also investigated that particular matter, and they found it to be true that they did. The guys are doing nothing. Central is an anti-graft institution. transparency institution. So glad that Anderson Mamel will be here. Will ask the question. Santa did an investigation, I'm told, and then they went to AACC and filed a complaint to AACC. But AACC is saying that they are overwhelmed with cases. Even if you are overwhelmed with cases, they bring corruption case to you. You're not taking it wrong way and fast track it. So the guys are there. They are involved in so many criminal activities there. They are involved in, and I challenge them to come and disprove this because we'll come with documents to that effect. Go to GT Bank. The guys open a parallel account. They deposit $70 to the government account. Then they take huge of that money and put in their own account. And they use it for themselves. And it is true they see money collect from that place that the government pays you with. So you want to collect money on your own, let government take you from the budget and pay yourself. You see how wicked people are in the country? By Monday, I will avail some of the documents here. So what happened is that when the guys do this thing, the comptroller is instructed by his boss, give $200 to George Way. They go to check and give it to you. They are giving checks to so many people you can go. There are check songs available. To that effect. Keep it near. I will take your call very shortly. So there are checks available to that effect. They go to the bank and withdraw this money. There are big boys around passing around. Why masses live in poverty? Why are you defrauding the government so early like this, man? You come to the government to steal. I'm always told that leaders should be last to eat. That's why I believe in the philosophy and policy of the man called ANC leader, Cummins. He said leaders should be last to eat. Leaders will eat soon. Leaders should be last to eat, but they want to eat very soon. You just got in government 1 year, you just sitting. That National Archive needs to be looked at seriously. And I'm urging my media colleagues around to go and dig behind this story. The Liberia investigators, the Oracle News, even the Spoon Network that brings many of the things outside. Go and check it. The National Archive is not exempt. Lots of stealing going on there. Mr. President, you need to send people there. And you know what has happened there? They have internal auditors, IA people there. The guys have put the IA guys into their pockets. Because before any document leaves that place or any financial transaction is done, it must pass to the IA. So they are bribing the IA people. I will take time to talk to the head of IA and then we'll have to investigate the guys who are there, because what is happening there, it can't happen if the IA say no. They are the internal investigators, internal auditors. The government of Madam Salif set up this IA to checkmate the expenditure of government institutions. Before you spend the money, it should be approved by the IA. But if the IA men are sitting on there, all of this money is going into private accounts, where the director general and the deputy and that of the controller eat every day, then I don't think there's a need for them to be there. They need to be changed. Let me welcome Charles George. Welcome to Basi. Christopher Wulati to Basi. Yes, and 24 and 25, etc. Marie Johnson, welcome. Tongino Roberts Nito Tamba, watching from Bapuru County. Opi Oni Johnson has joined me from Doe Community. Ansu Sano has joined me. D. Obel Moses is joining us. He said, great job. Watching from Buchanan. Elijah K. Colley has joined us. Matilda Stevens said, Della Grayfield, sometimes you need to speak truth to power. Baka is old and sick. So don't say that Baka did yesterday was good. But they say, it has happened in many countries. So Baka is not the first person. Yes, we agree he's old. The woman has health issues. He told us in this country he has peacemaker on his heart. And so a person with such a delicate situation, he didn't want to risk his life. President Paul Biya of Cameroon, Le Maire is, I think, 87 to 89 years old. He said want to contest in Gambia, in our country. When Le Maire walking, he's shaking. Tell a plum tree. But he said want to contest. Forget Free Africa. So keep him never call me now. Let's talk. Then we'll open the phone lines for 10 minutes when the Central guys come. I think they were trying to call me. I didn't know what they were trying to call me, but call this number back. They should be here anytime. 07734195020 0555184 are the numbers for the people in the counties, and for the people in Monrovia, the women, 0773-978-564. Let me tell you, KP Nire. KP is a PR manager for the National Archives. KP, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you very much. It's good getting on your network.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm happy to be one of the guys we depend on in the media for credible, accurate, and balanced information. Just to go quickly, I've listened to you, but basically, there are few things that the public need to know about what's happening. So contrary to what the media is reporting, I can safely tell you that there is no corruption web at the National Archives. This is deceptive, is malicious, and true. So the issue that has to do with the revenue generation, people should be reading. The archives has been contributing to the revenue generation of this government. So what we did, we are doing a revenue sharing based on what we do at the National Archives. And when we talk about revenue sharing, it's meant for the agency operational cost. The account you talk about, the consolidated account from GT Bank, that account has been approved by the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning and LRA as well. It was introduced by the former president during her leadership.
I know.
That was introduced for agencies or some government institutions to be able to run the day-to-day affairs of the institution.
So what is it that you want to clarify? Because what I'm reporting here is that you are there. So you didn't know about the two accounts where one goes to the government, $70 go to the government, and the rest is deposited in GT Bank. You didn't know about that, right? Or you are saying what you saying, but you are clarifying that what I'm saying is not correct.
The GT Bank account you're talking about, it was approved during President Ellen Joseph Sirleaf's time. It's a consolidated account. So we're doing revenue sharing. It's 60-40%.
Where does a 40 go and where does a 60 go?
Okay, now the 60 goes to LRA. Then the 40 is with the National Archive. That is for operational costs. For example, the marriage certificate.
So you send the bottom money to the GT Bank and you control it as an institution.
All the money that we receive goes to government account.
No, but you're saying to me that the other money that goes to GT Bank, it is there for operational costs.
Yes, revenue sharing.
So if you are doing operational costs, what does the government doesn't give you money in the budget?
There is money in the budget, and there is also a provision for revenue sharing. Like I'm telling you, it's 60-40. You can do your research.
So the 40 goes to ARA and the 60 goes to the GT Bank, right?
60 goes to LRA, 40 goes to GT Bank.
And then you said the GT Bank account is there. That money is there for operation cost.
Yeah, they use the money for operational costs. Like for example, if we want to buy a fee for the generator, we wouldn't go to finance ministry.
But don't you have money in the budget, in the central budget for yourself that you run an institution with that other government institutions are doing?
See, the government wasn't generating good money at the time when this came.
Okay, now if the government is generating money now, it's good money. Why can't you cancel and send that money to ARA?
So there is an agreement that was signed for government institutions to do revenue sharing. You can check that out.
Yes, so I'm saying, if that's the case, KP, now I'm asking you, you have the national budget, you are captured in the national budget. Now, if you are captured in the national budget, portion of that money that they give to you in the budget should be used for your operation. Now, what is generated by the institution to be sent to the government?
Portion of the money allotted is not sufficient. That's the reason why the government decided to have this revenue sharing.
KP, thank you so much. There's no time. Thank you.
Now, Jara, there's few clarity we need to make here. Talk about the legal instruments.
Mhm.
The 40, for example, there is 40 for legal instruments. You have $30 going to the LRA and $10 going to the CNDRA account. So that's one of the things. And if I can safely tell you that if you follow the report recently, we have generated more money even for government.
Okay.
So
I will give you an invitation to come here, but I'm still doing my investigation and I have pieces of evidence to prove what I'm saying here. I will not just come on the radio and talk from top of my head.
Yeah, that consolidated account. Honorable Emmanuel Lomax even met that here. So previous Director General met the same consolidated accounts here. So there's no corruption here.
So are you aware that they said that the Central, which is a transparency institution, did an investigation on this matter and they also contacted the agencies about this?
We yet to get information about Central report.
Okay.
If Central conduct a report, we yet to receive fundings.
Okay.
All we can say,
I don't think they are answerable to you, but if they get their files, they go to the underground institution. That's how they do their work.
yeah, but you know there will be LHCC and they have IAA and all year, so they will do the necessary thing to ask you. They wouldn't just say, "Oh,
All
you
right.
conduct an investigation and you are phone liable." They will investigate. So we are
Give me
waiting
thanks. I will give you invitation next week to come. Let's have some conversation.
Okay, thank you.
He is a PR manager there at the National Archives. He's keeping new. I will take few calls. Then I come back now to go to I'm not seeing my friend brother long time not seeing. I only see them in the newspapers, in the media, everywhere talking about corruption matters. It's a trained man from the days I started knowing the late ARA director. I started knowing this man. Hello, welcome. Let's hear you. Good afternoon, welcome. We have 1 minute, no time. David can welcome, let's hear you.
Yeah, that institution. I
Mhm.
pay $180.
Mm-hmm.
I say I received it from
Okay.
I will take it to my phone. I got $70 on the receipt. But the full money that I paid,
Mhm.
I paid $180 United dollars. But NRA receipt that I saw in the file for $70. So my question was,
Mm-hmm.
why I pay $180 and I receiving
Why you didn't ask the question at the time? Why you didn't ask them? All right, thank you, David King. So you see somebody who is a victim is saying the same thing, and you pay $180 against a receipt, you know, and that receipt comes from the ARA. You know, let me go to this line and pick this call. We'll soon go to our guest. 10 minutes past an hour. Let me just entertain a few calls. Hello.
Hey, bro, how you doing?
Hello, welcome. What's your name? You have 1 minute.
Thank you. This is Austin Wheeler from District 13 here.
I'll see with that.
I want to appreciate the U.S. Donald Trump for all of the testing, cutting down some spending, especially our country like U.S. Because from what we're hearing, the man is using hundreds and some more thousands to really be in office.
195,000.
It's also, I don't know how our people are thinking. These things are people, the Westerners are hearing it, or they are spending the taxpayers' money. I get to them. The people is spending money and you ask for somebody to spend money. It's not straight. And what I say to Donald Trump, we should taking the schools on Liberia, especially on our country. But those guys are spending money and they want the Westerners to spend money so that they can pocket the world. So I say Donald Trump is taking the schools to put everything to time.
Thank you. Your time is over. Let me tell another caller. Hello, welcome. Let's hear you. Hello.
Yeah, but I did not conclude.
You went off. You went off. I don't know. Maybe your money finished.
No, my money did not finish.
In 30 seconds, though.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, guys, about administrative reason. So the brother just said they are doing 40, 60. Okay. So why would you take $110 for yourself and give the government receive $70. So is that 40 cents thing? God, they are taking more than government. All right, from what I have here, I got a receipt here. You can come and see it.
Okay.
All right. So the president telling the truth. So America, what they are doing, they should do more than that, so that some of the nonsense that they are doing are for it to stop.
Thank you. Thank you. Two more calls and I'll call it a quit. 0773-419-502-0555-184-711. The next caller is there. Hello, welcome. Hello. Hey, 0773-419-502-0555-184-711. The cash giveaway is here. Star 79 and star select 90 hash. Play with 200 and win 20,000. Cash giveaway. Star 79 and star 90 hash. Play with 200 and win $20,000 this Monday afternoon. You can drink some beer somewhere. You can buy a bag of rice. You can get a lot of things. But let me welcome a distinguished guest, the man who stands for transparency and accountability Liberia. Mr. Oh, there's a microphone. There's an earpiece. You need to take it off. Okay. So let's welcome. I'm not taking calls now, please. Let me welcome. Are you set now? Okay, this guest number. Let me welcome the distinguished and erudite transparency giant, Mr. Anthony Meme. Is that the brand is Anthony Meme?
Yeah.
Okay.
Miami.
Miami.
Yeah, but wherever it is, okay.
Welcome, sir. It's been a long while. Well, not in the artist.
Thank you. At some point you transitioned.
Yeah.
It's good to have you back in this role, and thank you for the invite.
How is Centaur? Where are we in terms of the fight against corruption, transparency, all of those? Where are we? What's the status of Centaur now?
We're moving on. We're doing wherever we can. We may not be at the level we want to be in terms of the engagements due to different reasons, financial, logistical, and other reasons. But we're trying as much as possible to do what we can, working with what we have. And I must say that we've been blessed over the last few years to have great partners that have supported our work financially and otherwise. As you may know, we have the Embassy of Sweden in Liberia, CEDA. That is our biggest donor at the moment. For the first time, they gave us $1 million plus USD in 2020 to do or implement a national integrative building and anti-corruption program. We ran that program successfully for 3.5 years and renewed the partnership in 2024 for another 3 years. We have USAID that has been supporting our work. Of course, we have this whole stop work order that is affecting what we've been doing with USAID. We have 2 programs running that have been stopped. We're hoping that things can resume after the 3 months. We also have the Irish government that is our newest partner donor. They're funding a project that Centaur, NAMOD, and the Center for Democratic Governance are implementing a 3-year program that is going to help to not just fight corruption or fight against corruption, but also support decentralization and other efforts. You and with me is one of our partners. I mean, we're not where we want to be, but we also aren't where we were many years ago. We have a little bit more in terms of resources, in terms of staffing, even the partnership beyond financial support. The media, for example, is very key. This kind of engagement we're having, we may not have them if we do not have the media as a key partner. Some of the time we pay shows. This one, for the record, we're not paying. You extend an invitation to us. We have many of these kinds of engagements, and the public, of course, has been very key to wherever we do as Centaur and as civil society more broadly. Even actors in government have been largely supportive of the work we do. Of course, we have a bittersweet relationship with the government. Some of the time, bittersweet relationship. They appreciate the things we do. Even if a lot of them are aware that they are the fast, they are the right kind of things that we're supposed to be doing for the country. But for political and other reasons, people tend to sometimes unduly antagonize us for what we do. But we're happy that we're in the space and we enjoy considerable support from diverse actors and players, and we can only hope that we improve upon the things we do, building upon the partnerships we have, such that we do better for Liberia. The goal is to make Liberia a corruption-free society, to make the public citizens to benefit from the resources they have, the vast resources they have, which have been mismanaged over time.
Now, as a year or years pass away, you have had a situation of funding gap for your partners. Now you said USAID was giving you some support.
Yeah.
Now there's a stop order. I know that some of your work will be affected. To what extent do you think with this will affect your work? Because you are talking about transparency and accountability. Even the government itself has not been, the same stop order for 30 or 90 days is enforced. The government is being affected as well. So to what extent is Central affected with this? And do you hope that this, after the revision of the stop order for 3 months, you will still get the support?
That is what we're hoping for, but the thing also is, as we've indicated over time, this is a bittersweet decision. I mean, we're here to talk about the core anti-corruption thing, but there's nothing wrong with talking about what affects the states or what will affect the country and civil society more broadly. That decision is already having serious implications for civil society organizations in terms of financial constraints. There are some organizations that have probably USAID as the only donor. Maybe they have 1 or 2 USAID funded projects. Imagine what's happening to them. You can't continue with whatever you're doing. You need to address staffing concerns, administrative expenses. You have to, have electricity, do different things. So it's a challenge for institutions that rely solely or heavily on USAID's support. We're blessed a little bit to have, other funding streams, forces like the Swedish I was talking about, the Irish government, UN Women. So these other sources are keeping the institution up in the midst of the stop work order, the temporary halt on our activities that are funded by USAID. But of course, the reality is the extent of the effect on Centaur may not be the same as an organization that is entirely funded by or through USAID programs. But this is not just about Centaur, this is not just about the few CSOs out there. Even media institutions, the press union of Liberia was being supported by Internews,
yes.
Funding impact from USAID. So the fact that they can't have those resources is going to affect what they do. You're talking about staffing considerations, you're talking about salaries, you're talking about usage projects that give resources, put resources into the pockets of people at the community level, those who are running the hospitality industry, the hotels, and all the different things, catering services, and all of that. But the other point is the fact that we need to use this as a learning moment.
Okay.
It should be a wake-up call to us as Liberians that look, we have enough here to not necessarily look up to the Americans and other partners for support.
Absolutely.
While it's true that no country will be an island, you will depend on others for different things. Even the Western countries will count on us for the raw materials, the IOs. We're also hoping that we can get to a point where we reproduce or we produce what we have into finished products that we can export them and make a lot of money, that we can provide job opportunities for people here. If you have a factory here that is processing maybe gold, diamond, and all the other IOs we have, you're going to create jobs for people. It's going to help to, with employment. It's going to help with taxes. It's going to help with social security payment and all of that. Lots of different things will happen. So we need as Liberians, and that is why we're calling on the government to introduce some austerity measures. These things have been long overdue. We waste too much money on the public sector workers, especially the few people at the top. They get so much, and the civil servants and all these people in these different institutions,
they get the smallest pay.
They don't get much. At the top is where the money really sits. So cut down on most of this wasteful spending. Why should somebody pay me 5,000 USD, for example, in my own country as governor of the Central Bank of Liberia for housing allowance.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any financial sense.
And take home salary is 21,000 US dollars.
At that level, the point is at that level, to become governor of the Central Bank of Liberia, you must have had experience, solid experience. To get that, you must have worked in the financial sector at the highest level. I mean, let's look at the case of the current central bank governor. He's been the head of different private banks in the country. He's been making a lot of money, but now he has houses. He should have. If he does not have, or anybody in that position will not have, because the thing is, housing property, especially house, is a source of a sort of responsibility in Africa.
Of course.
In other countries, it's different. You are not compelled to build a house, so to speak. You can rent forever. But in Africa, it's different. It's a culturally,
acceptable,
sensitive society.
Yeah.
So by the time you start working, you start to earn some money, what people expect is to buy the land, build a house. They have all the different arguments against, buying land, blah, 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 investment, all of that. But this is Africa. So the point I was making is, to get to that point to become the governor of the central bank, you have a house already. You probably have 1 or 2 houses or properties around. So it doesn't make sense to be paying you 5,000 USD to rent. Let's even take it for argument's sake that we want to pay you something that will enable you to repair your home in case of damage and all of that. $1,000 could do monthly, or maybe 1,500.
I agree.
But you're talking about a situation where a lot of people, that 5,000 is they pay for. You do the math and tell me how many police officers can be paid from 5,000.
A police officer is paid $120.
So 100 to put it to 150.
Yeah, 150.
So 150, you are paying 5,000. You're talking about 30, 35 plus police officers that will be paid from that money for going heaven's sake. And that is not the only money. He's getting $7,800 as special allowance beyond the 10,000 salary. We're wasting a lot of money here. And I mean, then we go to the Americans, we go to the Swedish, we go to EU and these different people to, cry to them for money.
Yeah.
We waste our own monies on things that do not matter and go to partners to support programs and different interventions. You say it's supporting the health sector significantly in Liberia. That is why this decision has already started to have
an effect
on the sector and on people. You have people who are in places that depend on just one health facility. In that facility, if they cannot have drugs, essential drugs, it's going to affect the health of the people.
Now, you talk about assertive measures. It means that at this point where we have had all these problems, you say cutting down on Liberia, and if the government redirects some of the resources to the hospitals and things, it will help us. It will help significantly. But again, the political will is what matters.
The will has to be there. So we saw the government recently having some costs in the benefits of public.
Is that significant in your mind?
They need to do more. We have said that we should not have even waited for USAID or the US government to introduce this to bring up this decision before acting. This thing should have started a long time ago. We waste a lot of money on boards in this country. We waste a lot of money on few people in top management in this country. And it is not just this government for the previous administration. This is not just about the UP government. The UP might be inheriting a lot of the things that we're talking about. But the UP was also in power before George Weah came to power and then exited. So some of the things that we're talking about started during the era of this very united party. It may not be this president that we have right now,
but he was the vice president.
But he was vice president. Many of the officials we have in this government were also in the previous
government.
So if we're talking about the wastages, the exorbitant amounts and benefits and all of that unrealistic benefits, we can't tie them only to the CDC government. UP of the past and UP
of the current
take some responsibility for that. So we have to do that such that the monies of the people actually work for them. The budget is produced in such a way that a lot of money goes to the office of the president, a lot of money to the office of the vice president, the speaker, the Senate pro tem. People have a lot of discretion in terms of resources to use. They are giving scholarships here, they're giving all kinds of things here, not based on merit. Let's cut down on all these things and put the resources to things that matter. And often than not, GSE does not order most of the spending that these people do on these scholarships and all of that. In short, This should be a wake-up call. As much as it's going to affect us, it's already affecting Central, the media, our hospitals, our schools, in the health sector, agriculture. USAID is supporting almost every aspect of our society. You know, I mean, they're supporting almost every aspect. So that withdrawal, temporary withdrawal of support, is affecting us.
We should also see that as a wake-up call.
That's what I'm saying. It should be a wake-up call. Today is USAID. Another time it could be another country that we might be relying on heavily for support to critical sectors and institutions. What's going to happen? The best we can do is to prepare ourselves. If we had not thought about introducing austerity measures, and all of that, such that we spend money on things that really matter, and they can have trickle-down effects on the people, we should use this as a learning moment, as an opportunity.
And I said, man, you've been somehow, some people so critical of the regime. You've been critical of the past regime as well because of the way you conduct your transparency issue. People think you bring them to the public display and they suffer some public lights as well. But you are greeted by, your coming here today is greeted by a measure taken by the president. Just anymore about to suspend over 400 officials of his government for not declaring assets. And that is one of the issues we've been talking about all along. We'll come to the issue about government being selective in the fight against corruption that you talked about before. But how do you address what has happened and to what I say you think will make other people to do better next time than what they have not done?
So this is a welcoming decision on the part of the president, as much as it is belated. It is
very related.
Yeah, it's related. The president,
you are expecting her taking action ever since?
Long time ago. The law says declare when you take office. The president,
and this is the second time he made a call when he declared.
The president made his declaration more than 1 year ago.
And he restarted it again.
Those he appointed, why they wouldn't declare? If the law is very clear that declare your assets
some people get it
when you come. No, but the law didn't say you should have all the work. In fact, that's the best time you're supposed to
you get 1,000, I get 1,000.
Honestly, Miami is coming to this position with nothing. It makes it easy for us to track what you're doing. Then by the time we look in the community and we see somebody building and say, oh, you know that this building that is going up is for honestly, then we go back to your asset declaration and say, look, but just 5 months ago, honestly said he didn't have anything. Here is honestly building a house that is probably worth maybe 100 or 200,000. Honestly, makes maybe 2,000 out of 1,500 out of particular public agency. If you put all the benefits aside, assuming they're there, taxes, are very high in this country. Probably honestly, stay home or net salary is around 1,000 out of 1,002. So honestly, has to feed himself. He has to send his children to school. He has to attend to other things. How much would honestly have to save and build a house? So if in five months or 1 year or 2 years, honestly has completed a house that is worth 50,000 or 100,000, it raises questions about where honestly is getting the money from. Then we go back to the asset declaration documents to say, look, when honestly was declaring, he said that he had worked before and he was probably building his property. Beyond that, honestly indicated that he has 2 businesses. Maybe he has 50% share in this business, and then he has another 20% share in this business, and his return or what he gets over time is XYZ. Putting all of this together, then we say, look, it's possible for Anderson to build this property. Other than that, then we say, no. Anderson, please come and answer to questions around where you got this money from to build this property. That law
but again,
is a very good law. We just have not mustered the courage
to implementation.
That law. The past regime, this government, of course, we saw the president acting, like I said, they belated. Some of the people in Mali are in the office of the president. Those who are not compliant, some of them are in the office of the president. That's concerning. So we have to get to a point that we say, look, where do we want to go with this country in terms of the direction? What kind of country we want? We want a better Liberia, and we should be far ahead of where we are. But how do we do that? We can't take Liberia to the next level if we do not address corruption. And that's the mistake that people make. We say, for example, that Joshua, and the last time I posted something on my page regarding, what led to the loss of CDC in the going election. It is not that Joshua didn't build rules. You got all these infrastructures he did. even the very 14th military hospital that the UP people criticized or the opposition people criticized at the time when they were building it, it is that place that
All the officials are going now.
they're supposed to out of introduce some
I mean, that's the set of the annex is being built.
introduce some facilities that can upgrade it.
And the argument was, why can you just, I don't know, as this one, GFK is here, why you building the hospital?
That's what I'm saying. They criticized it, and that's the awkward thing about politics in Liberia. People criticize things that they're supposed to be building only because they always look at the wrong side of things. But that's a whole different conversation to have. The point I'm making is, Weah lost the election largely because he failed to deal with corruption. His officials, many of his officials were reckless. He came to power and started building mansions here and there. That was the mistake he made. So, to this government, I mean, you can build roads. You can do all different things. If you don't deal with corruption, it's a problem. You're not only dealing with corruption to allow you maybe win the next election. That might not be the only thing. But you're doing it such that the resources of the country can be managed properly and used to impact the lives of the people. The level of poverty in this country is self-created. We engineer our own poverty striking conditions. It's artificial. There are other countries that have a lot of poor people, and the poverty is natural, right? They don't have the resources, they don't have a lot of work, they're struggling for a lot of things. But we live in a place where we have a lot of resources. So if you have people in that kind of environment, like in Liberia-VOL, it means that we're creating the poverty on ourselves. That kind of poverty is artificial poverty. And that's not the kind of society we want. Once we address corruption, it's going to lead to a whole lot. We want to go to billions, for example, for revenue generation, domestic revenue generation. Our budget is supported by two streams. International support, and then the local support.
The international support has been crippled at some point.
Yeah, in a way with this whole UC thing, but EU and these other people provide some sort of support. But the point I was making is, as we aim to go to billions, one of the things that can get us to billion and even more is when we deal with corruption. We have a lot of loopholes in the system. We're not collecting all of the taxes that we're supposed to collect. We give tax, breaks to companies here. We give duty-free privileges to lawmakers, some of whom are abusing those duty-free privileges. So there's a whole lot that we can do to mobilize resources, to add to what we have. If we can only address those loopholes in the system, we get far more resources that we can put into a lot of things. So, I mean, corruption has been the order of the day over time. We've fought it through our lives, especially the political actors will come, make all the fine speeches, but then when it comes to action, you wouldn't see much. And that's why we've been reminding this government that, look, Mr. President, you made a commitment to deal with corruption. You made a commitment to not do business as usual. But some of the things that we're seeing here appear to be the things that we saw in the past regarding doing the wrong things when it comes to dealing with corruption. So we're talking about, for example, cherry picking when it comes to actions in dealing with
corruption.
People accused of corruption.
Yeah.
We've seen him lately acting with a level of speed, which is laudable. That's what we want.
But again,
we want it to be holistic.
Yes, he says it's not holistic. But again, by buttressing you, what the lady from the, how you call it, local was being questioned at the LACC. I saw young people with placards, thereby supporting your own ideology that the fight should not be just on few, but should be holistic across the table. And that message spoke to me very clearly. That what people are saying, the woman is corrupt. Yes, you call him for prosecution, whatsoever. But others are saying, the public is saying, please include other people. And why is the LTA man say that?
That's the thing. And the president had earlier out there also investigated a report on LTA to remove the entire board of commissioners. So this time around,
he did what?
To remove
the entire board of commissioners.
The entire board of commissioners. Israel Akesai and all the other people.
Okay. From the previous government.
And you removed it. So I mean, but we saw
and that was a tenuous position.
We saw that a tenuous position. That's the first thing. The second, you have the new batch of people that have been acting for more than a year, which is a concern.
It's not about violation of the law.
Of course. Why have people to be acting in perpetuity? You can't do that. The law says nominate people, go through confirmation process, the Senate has to review and vet it. That's the danger. The Senate has a role in reviewing the appointments that are made by the president, especially those, where applicable, such that these people are vetted and confirmed. Of course, the whole vetting process at the Senate is a different conversation that we can have. But the law says let him go through the process. If they're fit for purpose, the Senate can pass, declare them fit to serve, and they can proceed to serve. But you can't have people acting for more than 1 year. That is a governance issue. That is an accountability issue. It means that you are not allowing these people to be subjected to the scrutiny of the Liberian people through the legislature, those they appointed. So that's one part. The other part is you bring these people in on account that the previous board of commissioners were implicated in some investigations that were conducted. Fine. But there's a new report that has come up on a very LTA implicating the current acting board chairperson. Why hasn't the president acted? That is where, we're saying we do not want cherry picking. You can't pick and choose in your fight against corruption. Something happens to Jala, you dismiss him or you suspend him. Anderson does something, you leave Anderson out. Another person does, you act. The other person, you don't act. That's not how we do it. The other point also is the government had gone ahead to suspend the former governor of the Central Bank of Liberia, Aloysius Talu, right? On grounds that there was some audit report on the Central Bank that implicated him. Fine. He was suspended. Talu went to court to for what we know. And suddenly we saw a payment record of almost 400,000
almost 400, yeah,
to almost half a million to Talu
to settle him.
The case. What has changed? What changed?
So you think due diligence was not done in that case, right?
This person was initially accused of corruption.
Was that
then
proven?
Suddenly we saw the government either bargaining wherever and paying almost $500,000.
It was a bargaining.
That is of a concern. We don't waste public resources in that manner. So there's several things wrong with that. First, you accuse somebody of corruption. You didn't come back to the public with any information on whether or not what you said was true. And then we see you making payments. Several things. One, it's not the best use of public resources. 400,000 is a lot of money. So let's say, whether the reason for that was to remove Talu and then bring in another person that the president is comfortable working with. We should not do that. That's why we have laws and we have tenured positions. That position is a tenured position. Those that are appointed there are protected by law. Now look, they serve their term and they leave.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
it gives them independence.
If you're doing the right thing, you shouldn't have problem working with anybody. Unless this person has proven otherwise, then of course you can take administrative actions. But you having training position does not mean you can disrespect the president, you can steal, you can go against the rules of the country, you can declare your assets and all of that. Those are grounds for removal. But other than that, if it is just Jala Grayfield being in this position, Anderson is appointed. Let's say we have some differences, or you're for another political party and I'm for another political party. That should not stop me from working with you. What I do will make you to even convince you that, look, Jala, this Anderson that you've been criticizing, you've been saying all kinds of things about, is not the Anderson that you have already been talking all these negativities about. My action towards you will make you to change. That look, I think I had a wrong perception about Anderson. Anderson, look, let me confess to you today. Before you came here, before you became president or manager of this station, I had a thought that you were S, Y, and Z. But I think you've proven to me otherwise. That you're not. That is the best way. That's the best way you can deal with people who you think oppose you. So you have the leverage to make appointments to several other areas. But once the law says that this person should be here, I mean, it should be. Wait for the person to end his or her term in Talu's case. So 400,000 has gone to waste. Talu has gone. You have another person who will pay another money for the same period. It means you are paying double.
Almost $1 million.
You are paying double for that position. You know how much 400,000 can do? How many small or holder farmers across the country that need just 1,000, 2,000 USD to scale up whatever they're doing, to get some equipment, farming implements and all of that to improve upon their farms. You know how many people have small businesses that need just 500 USD to improve upon it. You know how many young people that started business with 50 United States dollars or even less that need 100 USD to start a business. 400,000 is a lot of money to go to waste in that manner. So that's what we said. The government has to come to the public. Imagine there were several tenured officials that were removed. Who knows whether, because the contract that we saw with Talu, that payment contract or MOU, wherever that is, says that, look, you can't talk about this. There was a disclosure, you know, a clause in that contract that you can't disclose information about this deal or this engagement. Who knows whether similar arrangements are being made for other positions that people vacated, you know, based on the action of the president.
Thank you.
Imagine how much money could be going to waste that can go to things that really matter. We gotta be serious.
Anderson Miamin is our guest. He comes from Centaur. He's a distinguished fellow. He's an anti-corruption giant, I want to say, you know, transparency guy. He talks about a lot of things in the country that is affecting our country, growth and development. He's our guest on the show. Let me welcome Carol Mala. You're watching us from somewhere. DJ Park Davis watching us. Mark Dewey watching us from Lofa County. Bialo Berry, good afternoon, watching from Central Monrovia. Morris A.M. Jabate watching from Point 4 Junction, Monrovia, Liberia. Marie Johnson, let me read your comment. As a reminder, death and illness are not discriminatory. We are attending funerals here in the U.S. every weekend in different states, and these are not sick. These are not sick or elderly people. All of you should quit claiming that the president is ill, because every one of us are exposed to something that's causing significant health problems for us or someone in our family. In Australia, we're not saying the president. The president himself admitted that he has some illnesses. He has a pacemaker. We are not a maker of that. We didn't go to seek his medical report from the hospital, but he voluntarily said that he has a pacemaker. He has a pacemaker in the USA. David Momo, falling from 22nd Street at Centaur office. Welcome, David Momo. Now, the president has suspended these individuals. The time for the suspension is not known. Whether they've been punished with salary cut, whatsoever, or salary denial of salary, we don't know. So it sounds ambiguous to some extent that this suspension is not clear. Because everything the president suspends us, so 3 months will pay. Like in the case of the head of the immigration service, 3 months no pay. Suspend someone else, 3 months no pay. So what about this one that is, they can tell us about the duration of the suspension?
So they talked about turning over government's assets. So what that means is you wouldn't be working. And if you're not working, why take pay? You're not supposed to take pay.
What about the duration?
So
I didn't say anything about the duration.
Yeah, they didn't say anything about the duration. It appears once you comply, but we were saying that, look, for this level of violation, that even people within the office of the president will not declare. Some of these people should be dismissed and not only suspended.
I agree.
If you work in the office of the president,
it should be an exemplar
of the standard for the rest of the people. So if you will work in the office of the president, he has declared his assets, and you have not, and you are amongst people who have not declared, it means you haven't shown leadership. You don't deserve to work in the office of the president. You don't deserve to work there any longer. Those in that kind of category should be dismissed.
You think the president is a bit lenient on these officials?
He's lenient. In fact, the first thing that I say is this action, we welcome it. However, it's belated. It's long overdue. The president should have acted long time ago. He kept on giving ultimatums and reminders. I mean, as much as you want to get people to comply with the law in record time and all of that, you can't pamper your officials. He was basically pampering them, which is not something that you do as a leader. Imagine people working in the office of the president not declaring their assets, incomes, and liabilities alongside other people. Those people should be dismissed. But the thing is, look, the code of conduct is a very good law. as I indicated. It basically requires people who come to public service to very clearly say what they have, such that with what they have, we can then say, okay, this is what you have. 3 years down the line, the law says when you declare upon coming to the position, after 3 years, you should redeclare. 6 years down the line, when you are exiting government, do your exit declaration. The law also says when you are changing position from
deputy minister to
deputy minister to
proper.
ministerial position, assistant minister to a deputy minister, because you are changing roles, and there will be changes in salaries and benefits. So your new assets will then show your salary range and all of that. And the reason is simple, like I said. Once you know what you have coming to this position, your business interests, the shares you have, and all of that. I mean, sometimes people think that this law is meant to hunt people or to affect the officials. No, that is not the intent. The law is actually meant to help you as Jara Griffith. Let's say you've suffered to build a lay house out of all your earnings before coming to government. Then somebody see you in a house, or you probably had a car or two prior, to come into government, having worked in the private sector and other areas. And somebody sees you in a car and assumes that you got this car.
While you're working in government.
You got this car, through government's money. Or you built this house through government's money. They will be falsely accusing you, right?
Of course.
It's to your disadvantage.
Absolutely.
But when you declare and we know that this is what you have, and that information is out there, people argue, security reasons and all of that. I mean, what is more of a security concern?
And I mean, honestly, to not cut you off, just to notarize, you only need notarization. You're going to spend money about $25. And what is stopping you?
These people have just refused to comply with the law. Some of them might have ulterior motives.
Okay.
Because to work in the office of the president for 1 year plus, and you can't declare, and reminders are coming from the office of the president every now and then to the public.
The people sitting on the president's feet.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't understand
That's
this.
what I'm saying. So at that level, you deserve not to work in the government or in the office of the president any longer.
But these are people loyal to the president. You are trying to dismiss them.
If you're loyal to me, you should help to project my agenda. If my agenda is to really fight against corruption, ensure that public resources are used wisely, allocated in the best way, judiciously, and then used in ways that benefit the public, you will even do more than what is required to ensure that the government has a good name.
My young colleague wants to ask a question, but let me welcome Hilton Wilejedo. Good afternoon, Jala. I'm following you from Greenville, Port City of Greenville Port in Sano County. But before he comes in, I want to address this issue. Before you came in, there was a conversation between the guy from the National Archives Center and I, talking about corruption that we raised earlier. We denied that. But I'm told that you did an investigation at Central, and the AIC is informed about the inquiry. But he's saying nothing wrong there. What do you have to say about that? Do you have any information about that?
Which institution?
It's a national document and records. They want to issue certificates for wedding.
So the thing is, when people report issues to us, unless otherwise, we treat those sources with a very high level of confidentiality.
Okay.
And we leave.
That is what the source told me.
We leave that to the LCC to do the rest in terms of investigation and all of that. So as much as we can speak to some things.
Yeah. So but you acknowledge the LCC.
We learned about some happenings at the archives at some point. Either we've completed or submitted. I can't speak definitively to that right now in terms of where we are with that. But I would not also disclose details around that. Like I said, we have a center that people come to report issues. Those issues will compile in Central LCC, for deeper investigation and prosecution where necessary. some of the issues reported may not have the weight required. I'm not saying that is the case in this case, but I'll refrain from talking about it at the moment. Maybe another time.
Okay.
When we come here, we get all the details around where we are with that.
Okay.
There will
Let
be-
Josh will come in, but let me announce that coming up at 4 o'clock, Nima County Representative Nyan Flomo will be our guest. He will take us up to 5 o'clock. Josh, you have a question?
I want you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want you to bring us up to speed about your recent release that has to do with Transparency on International's 2024 Corruption Perception Index that you placed Liberia of 25 in 2023 and 27 in 2024, and you also placed Liberia as one of the biggest decliners in the fight against corruption, having Liberia dropped 10 points since 2014.
Yeah, so that is the Corruption Perception Index, which is produced by Transparency International annually. So those who may not know Transparency International may be hearing about it for the first time. We're the national chapter of Transparency International. CENTAR is the national chapter of Transparency International.
Okay.
And TI, or Transparency International, which is TI for short, is the Global Coalition Against Corruption. There are different organizations worldwide that do different things. For this organization, it has decided to dedicate its efforts towards dealing with corruption globally. And so it works with partners in different countries and regions to do that. We are the partner in Liberia. So this research, Corruption Perception Index report, is an annual report that TR has been producing since 1995 to basically rate countries according to how clean or corrupt their public sectors are. So it assesses the level of corruption in a country and does that reviewing different processes and all of that, and using what we call credible data sources. So it is a study that looks at existing data sources that are credible. So if CENTAR is in the business of doing report, and CENTAR's report is annually produced and is credible, they take that report from CENTAR, probably that is looking at press freedom or the civic space, to what extent the environment is conducive for media, civil society, activists, and all the other critical voices to engage. Then maybe another group does a report that looks at the financial sector in terms of how transparent people are, the regulations, and all of that. So we take all of those different sources for a research report, like the Mo Ibrahim Index that looks at democracy, like the World Bank, to do some country institutional assessment, African Development Bank that look at our frameworks to deal with maybe financial crimes, financial issues, and all of that, different accountability issues. So you have these different sources. We take them, put them through a process, and they come up with that aggregate score to say that, look, this is what Liberia had. Jara Grayfield, with his research, gave Liberia a score of maybe 2. Anderson, with his research, gave Liberia a score of 5. This other group gave Liberia a score of 10. This other one 10. You put all of that together, and then you find the average to say, this is what these people are saying, and this is what we say now as the score of Liberia, considering anti-corruption efforts, considering media freedom, considering the civil space, considering democracy, considering the rule of law, and all of that. So over the last 6 years prior to now, we have been declining on the CPI. When George Weah took over, we were at 32 on the CPI in 2018. By the time he was leaving office, we went to 24, 25. It is now that we're picking up to go up. And in a way, credit to this administration for presiding over the 2-point increment. So last year we were at 25, which was the 2023 report. This report is the 2024 report that takes us to 25. But this 25 stays nothing substantial actually, because we're still lagging behind. While it's true that we've grown by 2 points, or we've gone up by 2 points, we're still amongst the biggest decliners worldwide. Since 2014, we've declined by 10 points. It means that at 27 right now, we were at, by 2012, we were at 41. That was before during Manasseh's era. At that time, the Freedom of Information Law, the Code of Conduct, and most of the things that we're dealing with right now. Code of Conduct came to be in 2014. The initial or the original law that was amended in 2022. But we have settled LSCC and most of these frameworks. So people say, look, it looks like the country is on its way to really deal with corruption. But then after that, Manasseh children, different positions that are still by the car, other people, she started reneging or acting, putting on their chopping bowl for people when they were accused of corruption and all of that. We started to decline and we went all the way down. So 2 points addition is welcoming, but this does not say anything significantly about the substantiveness of our efforts in really dealing with corruption. We still have impunity for corruption very high. We got all the laws, we got all the institutions. Our issue is not really being able to deal with impunity. Okay. People do things and we do not punish people, we do not prosecute people enough, we're not achieving convictions enough. And once we can do that, you can have all the fun laws, you can make all of the fun promises, even this asset declaration that we're talking about that people should declare. The value in the asset declaration is not just mere submission of papers to LSCC. The value is in LSCC reviewing the assets that have been declared and coming to the public with reports to see whether or not what Jared Bayfield has told or he has are the things that he really has. Because we want to know whether Jared Bayfield is lying. Jared may have intention to do something shit and bring something. So Jared will say, look, I have 3 houses. But does Jared really have the 3 houses he's talking about? The verification can do that. So we need the LSCC to verify those assets that have been declared and it wants to come. They want for this government, the officials of this government, and they want for the previous government. Because the whole asset declaration thing is not yet about this regime. Yeah. Those who were in the previous government made declarations. They were supposed to have declared when they were leaving offices. So I believe that some of them did not. LCC needs to go after them of whatever sanctions there, that exist. But we need to make full use of this asset declaration thing. All right. So that we get the kind of results we need to get.
And I said, Miamian is our guest on this show this afternoon. The cash giveaway is here. Star 79 and star 90 hash. Play with 200 LD and win $200,000. Again, star 79 and star 90 hash. Play with 200 LD and win $20,000. Now let's activate the phone lines for 10 minutes and then we let Anderson go after 10 after 10 minutes. Yes, 10 minutes. 077-3419-502-0551-84711. We can take calls up to 10 by about 4:10. He comes with a response. Then our next guest come in. He comes in by 4:15. 077-3419-502-0551-84711. 077-3785-64. Let's take this call from here. Let's see if we can get this one. Hello, caller. Welcome. Hello, what kind of sound behind you? So, oh, there we go. Wants to brush our eardrums. 077-184-711. 077-397-8564 is for the female, but females rather. But you can also participate if you have the time. Okay, I guess he has to leave at 5 minutes by 4 because of some urgency. So we will take a few calls. If you're listening there, call us. This one is sometimes you can't believe in the hard political stuff. But call us now. The phone numbers are available for the people in the counties. You can call us from Lofa, from Bong, from Nimba, everywhere. Call us. Hello, welcome. Hello. Oh, sorry. Let me put you through this line. I had some problem with this one. Hello.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, thank you very much for that recognition, people. And let me say, go out to the people there, Mr. Amasi Mema.
Thank you.
Let me say thanks to Mr. Amasi Mema because for someone we support the government, Mr. Amasi, but supporting the government, we're not supporting any corrupt act in the government. So some of y'all are very making the government. For some of we are now with any corrupt person because declaring assets are for me. And see no beating. I think up to now, I think the president even wasted time hearing that the president suspend his guy. The president said he want allow people to spoil his government because me and you are saying that you suspend people because somebody got making with motive. People are answering no beating. I think that somebody must declare a hazard because if you get one post spoon, go tell LG that one post spoon or I want eating spoon or I want drinking cup, I get to my house. What do you do about it? And somebody got and want to declare a hazard because they want to corrupt the system. And some of us will not think that support the government.
Thank you. Thank you. No time. Others have to talk. Let me take this phone from here. Hello, welcome. Hello, welcome.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let's hear you quickly. You have 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just a very second the teacher on you. I'm going from Bon County.
Okay. What part of Bon County you calling from?
I'm going from Banga.
Okay, let's say go ahead.
So in the issue of corruption, sometimes the government will come out and tell corruption, but so we're not talking more about the guy that help behind everybody can push it. Because with the issue of Amimura corrupt. After they took the car, Amimura resigned. Amimura court. But since then we have had no information Amimura up to date. We didn't know where the car is. The library say they are still sorry. The issue of the president of no car. So that when the president of no car will go to court. So they are still corruption over the president declared corruption when he went over. He said you see them when they use the common who are this common up. And the common that also they are still the Lord development. If I put a record about you that corruption, I think they should drop out that or 10,000. But we own the money around the money. So we not sure the money so we are more important than all.
All right. Thank you. 0773419502 We'll take two more calls, then we'll go to our guest. He leaves at 5 minutes past 4 o'clock. He has other engagements in the country. The man is a businessman. Sounds on 560-560-073419502 You can call us on Banga Bon County, call us on Nima, call us on Lofa, call us on Grambassa. Our lines are open. We have our frequency in those counties. Very huge listening audience outside there. 077-3419-502. If there's no caller, I think this other line has encountered problem. So I will just call it a quit from the line, from the caller's line, and go back to Anderson. He has talked a lot about transparency and accountability. George, you want to ask another question? Book your transition?
Yeah, let's transition.
Okay, let me take this guy. Hello?
Yeah. Hello, good evening, Mr. Gravy, and so your studio here.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, it's a problem. We agree that the government is suspending people for corruption, but it is not sufficient. At least when you suspend a person for corruption, the other send a person to court for prosecution. As we speak, the president already have a lot of corrupt people. You have now another JP. You have to find all here that corruption in them.
What do you have for validate corruption?
Decide to chase another boat, they pick and choose. That way, not feeling corruption, you cannot get rid of corruption, but you can minimize it.
Thank you.
You need to take transfer action.
Thank you. The next caller, you might be the last caller. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Java?
Yes, go ahead. Hello? Hello? Hello, caller? Oh, I think he hung up the line. So let's go back to Anderson. I think the callers are. You want to say something before we leave? Take leave of you because you say you have an engagement, right?
Yeah.
So sorry for that. Sorry.
Thank you, Jala. This been a really good show. We appreciate all of the people who.
Oh, let me just take this. Hello, you're the last caller. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thanks so much. This is Ben Onira from Magibi.
Onira, let's hear you from Magibi.
Yeah, let me appreciate the anti-corruption diet, like you said. I've been following the activities and also been part of so many programs and awarenesses to ensure that corruption in our country can be minimized, if possible, eradicated. Mm-hmm. So I just want to use this opportunity to appreciate him for the level of awareness the institutions have been creating. And those are supporting the institutions will continue to support the Sinta and Mr. Addison Miami, so they can be able to increase whether in schools in Liberia, more especially. We can also start on Canada as well. So thank you so much, Chief. God bless you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Miami, do you think that in the next year things will improve based on the interactions, your corrections, and your criticism of the government intended to make things happen? Do you think in the next 1 year we can do better than what it is now?
Yes, of course, we can always improve upon the things we do. It will require collective efforts. What you're doing here is very critical. What we're doing as civil society is key. But the onus will be on the government to implement the recommendations that we prefer.
Okay.
We can make recommendations. There's certain things we can do. We have different responsibilities. So we'll do certain things together, but there are just some things that only the president can do. There are just some things that only the lawmakers can do. So we want to encourage the president to really lead by example and play by the rules, do those things he has indicated that he would do in support of the fight against corruption. He must not pick and choose when it comes to taking actions on anti-corruption matters. He should treat all officials that are accused of corruption the same way and not treat certain people more favorably than the others. We need the public to become more demanding, of officials in terms of accountability. The lawmakers have to play a part. Let us all engage and continue to engage such that we make corruption an issue of the past. There's no way that we can make Liberia better if we don't deal with corruption. And as we move on, it is just important that we end a culture of impunity for corruption. Without all the fine laws, all the institutions, the missing link right now in our fight against corruption is dealing with impunity, punishing people for wrongdoings, those who steal.
Mm-hmm.
Once we identify people, prosecute and confiscate their properties or get them to go to jail, you do that to few people, the rest of the people will.
I think you and Clara Mala thinking the same way. She says suspend and prosecute corrupt officials and also confiscate stolen money and etc. That's what she's saying.
Exactly.
So it's been a nice time, you honestly, man. Let me take this break. I will come back. Then we have some other discussion later. Let me take this break. This one is a remix here. Hey, Pop Boy, I was taking a break to get some water to drink.
Everybody pot born in my pocket board. The only time my pocket board when it can't get a door. The struggle keep killing me, I ain't even got dog. So hustle hard to buy my favorite rubber door. The economic system by full trying to tell rats while the table screwing hot. So I gotta speak about. You think I'm talking crap? No, I'm talking rap. That's what survivors why my nigga doing old school. Some people say we fool, some people say we go to school. Some people still asking what to do in front of you. The government breaking so the youth is still taking. No entertainment, so we're making no money. I'm telling it to y'all, I ain't having no jaw. That's what I stand for. My body can't ball. Show in the city that we think it's on us. What's the plan? Not button. Show me, see, she be living it tonight. What's the plan? Not button. Million lost days, she lives to borrow. What's the plan? Not button. Say now what you never do, say what you have to do. Which kind of hustle I go hustle now? Say now what you never do, say what you never do. Which kind of hustle I go hustle now?
Everybody pop on it, but my pocket boy. everybody cutting sharp, but why I can call the whole cover hold, that the whole hustle. Send behold, you owe me one bottle. Now everybody for the sale, only call for all. I hope in call for you, they want divine Congo all in the whole music game. Let me tell you what it is. They think the common people still don't know how to do it. Because the other common man, they common sense, I'm a common sense. Maybe to be intelligent, I understand all I be pretend. Oh, you better than I get no content. When I want to start a president, I'm a big talk, I'm be soft to let me stand. And in the building, come to know development. So, the metalment of the money to have a man, pity. The transport, our resources, but it important about we can never see no profit. Now we need a profit to come and take us from poverty. The prosperity for people buying everything. Big masters, everybody, my and bar. In next step,
the struggle make the hustle better. Fair way and put on the prophet on the cross. And then the message, but no one can hear my voice. I'm playing, I be my talent, never shit. The message that I brought to them is I'm business. I'm a proud with all. I support. Yeah, if mama come in here, I'm bang to the horse. Just stop my hustle, I'm a real true believer. Give on the seas up, what?